go get him. Let's go get him today, man. Let's go. Hey, double down, 3, 1, 2, 3, double down.
I see a nice question here from Raphael 5629ers. Now, last 2 weeks we've seen some Kittle breakout games. Debo Samuel obviously not been out there. Seattle was a bit of a tougher game for the receivers, and Kittle we've seen be the highest targeted receiver 2 weeks in a row. The guy with the most production, 2 touchdowns in 2 straight games. Now, I don't know if he'll get 2 touchdowns in this game, but talk to me about George Kittle. What have you kind of seen from him the last 2 weeks? Do you think that it's been anything different? What's kind of led to this spark?
Well, I just think that he's finally healthy. I think he's been, he dealt with some injuries early on. He started coming back, and he's had a couple of really good games in a row. It's not the first time we've seen him do this, though. We saw Kittle have a really good game out in Mexico City with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. I think he put up, what did he have, 2 touchdowns in that game? It was a pretty good effort overall. So I don't really think I've seen anything all that different from George Kittle over these last couple of weeks. It's just the ball in direction, and typical good things happen, and it usually, and so we're seeing that over these last, it's just the fact that it's happened 2 games in a row. But again, it's not anything new. He had back-to-back games of 83 and 98 yards in week 6 and 7. Opposite Atlanta and Kansas City, and he had 4 for 84. Like I said, in Mexico City with a couple of touchdowns there as well. So it's all good news, and to see him do it back to back is really positive. And I think there's a really good chance that we're going to see him. I don't know about 2 touchdowns, but I wouldn't put it off the board considering the injury and from what's going on the injury side for the Raiders, losing Chandler Jones, who their top pass rusher, their second best pass rusher, and then also losing their linebacker. One of their linebackers, their leading tackler, missing his name right now, and Denzel Perryman.
Denzel Perryman,
yeah, he's their leading tackler at linebacker, and he's not going to be out there either. So that, I think, should help out George Kittle towards possibly getting the 2 touchdowns again.
I think so too. I think Kittle, I don't know if he'll get the 2 touchdowns. I don't know if that level of production will be there, but Kittle has, like you said, been impactful for the last few weeks, and he's had these couple of game stretches where he's kind of been that focal point. He's been able to get open, and I think a big part of it is Christian McCaffrey in a way. McCaffrey has opened up this offense on so many levels. I know we've talked about it before, but with Kittle itself, when you have these routes where McCaffrey and Kittle end up on the same side of the field, and there's so much attention towards McCaffrey, provides a favorable matchup for Kittle. Kittle being able to work the way he does after the catch with his unique level or his unique traits for a tight end, him being able to do that. And also without Debo Samuel, you look for a bigger safety blanket. Samuel this year has operated more as a safety blanket than a receiver. His average depth of target has been lower than you'd expect. It seems like he's kind of operating more in the shorter range of the field at the line of scrimmage as well, rather than in the deeper and in the intermediate part of the field, maybe perhaps because of the other talent on the field, but also because of his I don't want to say poor, but maybe diminished route running. I think that it's now Kittle kind of filling in that role of being the safety blanket a little more, and him getting the target as well.
Yeah, no, it could be all those things. I think, without Debo Samuel, they'll go somewhere else, so that opens it up a little bit more. So that could be playing a little bit of a factor. And I agree with you. I do see Debo Samuel being more utilized more as a screen game guy, those types of things. We haven't really seen him being given those, even over the middle, those 15-yard dig routes that he used to run.
That's the
those
interesting part.
Yeah, not having those. That's the I think probably changes is in that area.
Mm-hmm. No, agreed. Like the crossing routes, the intermediate routes, where route running might not necessarily be as important, but it's routes that Debo Samuel flourished on last year, and so that might be certainly that part has diminished probably due to the emergence of Brandon Ayuk, obviously the talent that they have in the skill position room. But without Deebo Samuel this past few weeks, not only has Kittle seen an increase, last week we saw the impact of Ray McLeod, who essentially played the Deebo Samuel role in his minimal offensive snaps. He had the Deebo Samuel level handoff where he was able to accelerate for a 71-yard touchdown. Then he also had a screenplay, his lone target of the game, which was an errant throw from Purdy. Do you anticipate him also being in a similar role as he was last week, or do you think that that's more week-to-week fluctuation?
Who's that again? I'm sorry.
Ray McLeod.
He's gonna be the same guy, right? He's the Debo Light of the offense. They don't give him quite as many carries in the run game as what they gave Samuel. They don't give him quite as many attempts as far as targets either. But he's gonna get the end arounds, the sweeps, those types of things like we saw from Deebo Samuel. He's gonna get a few of those routes as well. So I would expect to see that continue with him.
Yeah, I think that McLeod he's done fine in his limited role. Obviously known for his special team ability this year. He has kind of emerged onto the scene, a Pro Bowl alternate in that. And so we'll see what role he gets this weekend. But I think, McLeod, he's had that role in a minimalistic kind of viewpoint, but also those targets have been shared amongst the remainder of the 49er receivers, specifically like George Kittle.